of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things puts a man in such a bewildering condition of existence. Bhayam Dita Bhatta Chisa Syat, Srimad Bhagavatam 11.237. Such fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium takes place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. Arjuna envisioned only painful reverses in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining a victory over the foe. The words nimatani, vipratani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self interest by Krishna's will. One's real self-interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna. The conditioned soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pains. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him. Om Agyan Timandasya Gana Gana Salakaya Chaksunumitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapita Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dudati Sopadantikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachayani Vishesha Shunivadi Pasta Chai Satarine. So in the material world, everyone wants to show his opulence. We see people work very hard in the outside world because they want to show off to their friends and relatives how rich they are. But we see how even by that people are not happy. And this is from Srila Prabhupada's lecture on chapter 1, text 30. Prabhupada is explaining certain points. He says how even Gandhi, he's quoting Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, saying that he did the most welfare work for his country than any other person. And Srila Prabhupada explains how Gandhi wanted to throw the British out of India, and he did that by the non-violence movement. And his thing was to unite Hindus and Muslims together, and also to have a simplified government, like simplified farming and knitting and all these kind of things. But when his end was achieved by throwing the British out of India, next day he was thinking, it's good for me to die soon. And next day someone shot him. So Prabhupada gives the example to show the point that Prabhupada showed the point how even in your country you can do so much welfare work, but your own countrymen will kill you. I mean, there's many other points why, because it was in the time of Bhaktivedanta Thakur also, he sent his disciples to approach Gandhi to ask him. Bhaktivedanta Thakur wanted to meet him, and Gandhi said, "The Bhagwan is my machine." He made a point like that. So he didn't want to meet Bhaktivedanta Thakur, and also when Prabhupada wrote him a letter so he can be trained in understanding what Bhagavad Gita is, the letter didn't get to him. Because Srila Prabhupada explained later how Gandhi thought that Krishna was an imagination. He didn't actually accept Krishna as a person. And he was using the Bhagavad Gita for his own purpose, as non-violence. But Bhagavad Gita doesn't promote non-violence. It promotes the highest morality of surrender to Krishna. And so Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, the reason why the battle of Kurukshetra happened is Krishna was teaching that for the right cause you have to fight. You cannot be sentimental and just follow blindly. You have to fight for the right cause. So there are two kinds of approaches. There's a line of morality, which King Yudhishthira was a line of morality. Because in Mahabharata it explains how Krishna told the Vrishnis that I can finish the Kurus off very quickly. But Yudhishthira will not agree because he was a line of morality. So if you go in line of morality, then you have to go with the lower religious principle of satisfying the public needs and like that. Whereas the higher level of morality is to surrender to Krishna, which Arjuna did. So so those who go according to the lower level of morality, they get affected by material attachments. Because they're dealing with the material world they're living in. So that was also Bhishma Dev. He took a vow that anyone who rules the world, I will support them. So within that time when things were happening, the Kurus were ruling the world. So Bhishma Dev was obliged to serve Duryodhana, serve the Kurus. Whereas on the higher level of following principle on spiritual morality, surrender to Krishna. Because Krishna is teaching us how the material world is not our home. And if we surrender to his instructions and serve his devotees and make the devotees our family members, then the material world will not affect us. The material world is only for those who are not surrendered to Krishna. But even for those who are in the material world, if they surrender to Krishna's instruction and serve his devotees, then the material world doesn't affect them. It's like they're in a spiritual bubble. The material world doesn't affect. So so Vishwanath Thakur, he explains an interesting point. He says, when you take to spiritual life, then your material body dissolves and your spiritual body manifests. And once you take to the material world, then your spiritual body dissolves and your material body manifests. So, someone who's seriously practicing spiritual life, he's not living in the material world. Prabhupada himself said that. He said, I'm living in Vrindavan because I'm following Krishna's instructions. So, in the Krishna book, Prabhupada gives an example saying how an emperor is the king of many kings, you know. Emperor is like the king of many kings are under the emperor. In previous time it was like that. So one emperor ruling the world and many kings were under the emperor. So Krishna is compared to like the emperor. And if we take shelter of him, then he looks after our needs. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it explains how even the material world is manifesting from Krishna. Because even the material world is part of Krishna's energy. So, if we learn the science of using everything for Krishna's service and serving the devotees, then everything becomes spiritualized. Arjun, he was teaching by his example, because Arjun heard Bhagavad Gita only for 45 minutes. He heard the Bhagavad Gita in 45 minutes. And Prabhupada gives an example. He says, just like a mother will not chastise the daughter-in-law directly. She may not be able to take the chastisement. She chastises the daughter. And from the daughter, the daughter-in-law will learn. The same thing for us. Krishna will not chastise us directly, knowing that we may not be able to take the instructions. So he chooses his advanced devotees to instruct the living entities like us in the material world. So this is also the line of parampara system, the line of disciplic succession. That if we learn by this line, then the teachings become very sweet for us to digest. But if we go by Krishna's correcting us, then it may be very hard for us to digest how Krishna is correcting us. But if we, like Arjun, an example of this, he's although he's taking instruction from Krishna, but also he's also loyal to his brothers and other devotees. So by the mercy of devotees, then we get Krishna's mercy. And this reciprocation of Krishna is very interesting, because when you go through experiencing in your life, then you see how Krishna is protecting you. Prabhupada put a question to devotees: why have you surrendered to Krishna? So one devotee said, because Krishna says, Sarva Dharmam Parityajamam Ekam Samvrati. He says, give up all varieties of religion, surrender to me. I'll free from all sinful reaction. Prabhupada didn't accept the answer. Another devotee said, because you said Prabhupada. And Prabhupada didn't accept the answer also. So third devotee said, because we're feeling Krishna's reciprocation. So Prabhupada accepted that. Because how can someone give up all their conditioned nature from where they're coming from, all the bad habits, and follow all high principles of spiritual life? How is it possible? They have to get a higher taste. So So in his lecture, Prabhupada gave an example. He said, the Mayavadis, they have a misunderstanding on what the real thing is. Because they've gone through a lot of suffering, they try and deny the material world. They think it's an illusion. But they don't understand that example was given, just like a a sick person, when he goes treated in the hospital, he gets well again. And when he's sick, he's passing, his bodily nature's coming in, passing stool and urine, all these things are coming in, but health is bad. But when that person gets well and the doctors tell him that you'll be also doing these things, but you'll be much in a healthy condition, he cannot accept that. So the Mayavadis have this, because they've gone through a lot of suffering, they deny the material world, but they don't realize that by doing everything for Krishna, then suffering is not there. And there's a reason why we have to go through these things in the material world. There's an interesting pastime with Lord Jagannath. There was one devotee who was bedridden. And one Brahmana came to serve him. And when the devotee got well, he realized the Brahmana was Lord Jagannath. And he asked Lord Jagannath, why did you come to serve me like this? Health wasn't good. So Lord Jagannath told the Brahmana, I put you through this situation to make you humble. So, if we can just accept our position as being part and parcel of Krishna and Krishna being great, then understanding Krishna's greatness, then serving his devotees, reading the scriptures. Because I read a quote just now, this is in the Back to God at the end. It says, offending the Guru is bad, but offending the scriptures is even worse. Because the scriptures are not different from Krishna, and Krishna is a Guru for everyone. So, so the attachments we hold in the material world are not so easy to let go of. Because the problem is we are too much on the emotional platform. Now, we have to purify our emotions by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Krishna book. Like Mahabharata deals with emotions, deals with families, dynasties, sages, saints, so many things. It deals with so many things. So by doing that, you can purify your emotions. Prabhupada himself commented one time. He said in his conversation, he said, in schools, all these stories they teach of different fairy tales, and the children don't learn that much. But he said if they just read Mahabharata, they'll be fully satisfied. They'll learn so much and they'll be fully satisfied. So the cause of suffering is that we identify with the body. Now, there are yogis in India who do a lot of austerity to understand that they are not the body. But that in itself doesn't give them perfection, because they go to the Brahman. But to surrender to Krishna is higher, because just surrender to Krishna, you automatically understand you're not the body, because you're cultivating a higher taste. By this higher taste, your understanding you're not the body will automatically come. And but Prabhupada he comments, he says, surrender can take 1 second or it can take millions of lifetimes. It's a matter of accepting the fact. And from Krishna's point of view, he doesn't force us, because he wants loving reciprocation. We are not dead stone. We have feelings. So Krishna wants loving reciprocation. So there's a quote that says by one of our teachers. He explains, Shiva Maharaj, he explains this point. He says, Krishna doesn't want robots and slaves. He wants mothers, fathers, boyfriends and girlfriends. So you see, when Krishna comes in the material world, he's never alone. He's surrounded by his devotees, gopis, cowherd boys, animals. You see how, and the example is like a king or a government, When they come anywhere, they come with their followers, isn't it? So, Krishna is King of Kings. But the Prabhupada gave an interesting example to show how interesting point to show how Krishna doesn't stay in the material world. He stays in the spiritual world. But he gives the example to show, like, a king or a government is ruling the country. And if they really want it, they can stay in the prison house. But they don't do that. They have a big house, isn't it? They have a big place they stay. So, even the material world is part of Krishna's kingdom. But this is the prison house quarters. So, but occasionally, just like the governor, he comes to the prison house to reclaim the prisoners. Because he feels compassion for their suffering. So in the same way, Krishna feels compassion for our suffering. And the example is given, just like the finger is attached to the body. If something happens to the finger, the body feels the pain. So in the same way, Krishna feels our pain. But at the same time, he's putting us through suffering because he knows it's necessary for our purification. But in the human form of life, if you surrender to him, to his instructions, and serve his devotees, then the suffering won't affect you. Suffering will disappear. Its example is given, even in our life which we are living now, we can see without Krishna's mercy, you cannot live your life. Not possible. You don't know how your food is digesting, the sunlight, moonlight, rain. It's all coming from Krishna. He's sanctioning it. It's just, in the material world, people have different chains. Some have silver chains, some have iron chains, some have gold chains. Shackled up, the body. Body is like a chain, But if we can learn to serve Krishna and serve his devotees, then we become free from the shackles. It's like a lotus flower in the water. It doesn't get wet by the water. It's protected. So, taking to spiritual life, serving to Krishna, serving devotees, being a part of the devotee community, you don't get affected by the material world. You're just waiting to leave this body to go back to Godhead. That's it. And the other thing is, in the material world, there's only two things real. This is Lord Chaitanya saying. The Vaishnavas and the holy name. Everything else is temporary. You see in this year 2023 coming in, you see so many things are happening. Disasters and so many. It's all part of purification. But at the same time, there's a good sign to this, that if you take to Krishna consciousness, then these things won't affect you. Just like now, the devotees in the ISKCON movement, they're promoting farm projects, growing vegetables, protecting cows, like that. Which is more part of what Krishna wanted when he appeared 5,000 years back. Krishna promoted that kind of life. Yeah, protecting brahmanas, devotees, cow protection. Krishna appeared as a cowherd boy. So, those who go against that kind of life, those who don't protect cows, they don't have respect for brahmanas and devotees, they're going against what Krishna came to teach. So when that happens, then Krishna appears to rectify the principles of religion again. And some people ask that Krishna comes when there's irreligion in the world. So why hasn't he come? But he's come through his holy name. And he's sending his devotees. Also, there's a interesting understanding of this. Like in previous ages, like Satyayug, Tretayug and Dwapar, these ages, people were more into meditation, yoga, austerities. But the easiest process is chanting the holy name through kirtan. But in other ages, people were too proud. They couldn't understand the concept that simply by moving lips and tongue you can achieve perfection. They couldn't understand that. But Krishna is very easily accessible like that, through chanting the holy name and doing kirtan. So this particular Kali Yuga, although Kali Yuga is considered the most degraded of all ages, but this is the merciful Kali Yuga, because Lord Chaitanya only came 520 years back. And Lord Chaitanya, he's known as Prema Purushottam. So Lord Krishna is known as Purna Purushottam. He showed how he was Supreme Lord. He exhibited 6 kinds of opulences at one time: wealth, strength, knowledge, beauty, renunciation, fame. Like he married 16,108 wives at one time. It wasn't like each wife had to wait 16,108 days, but he expanded into 16,108 forms, with 16,108 palaces. Each wife had 10 children. So Krishna showed how he is God. So so that same Lord Krishna, who appeared 5,000 years back, appeared only 500 years back as Lord Chaitanya. And the reason why Lord Chaitanya did not exhibit himself as a Supreme Lord, he kept his identity hidden as Krishna, is because Prabhupada explains in the purport that if the Panch Tattva exhibited the supremacy, like Krishna showed that he was God and they exhibited their supremacy, then the people of this world would have taken to that kind of imitation to think that they themselves are God. So Lord Chaitanya came to show how to become a devotee of Krishna. So when Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharmani Parikya Jamam Ekam Samvaja Aham Tam Sabe Moksha Masucha, that give over surrender to me, I'll free from all sinful reactions. Now, how many can do that nowadays? How many can just give up everything and surrender to Krishna? Live a simple life. Difficult. But that contradiction is resolved when Lord Chaitanya comes. Lord Chaitanya is not saying you give up anything. He's saying you take to the chanting of Hare Krishna. And by this chanting of Hare Krishna, you'll achieve perfection. So Prabhupada elaborates on this point. He says, chanting Hare Krishna in itself can give you perfection, but there's two things you have to follow. One is, you have to give up sense gratification. And the other is, you have to avoid offenses to the holy name. So, not everyone can do that immediately. So this is why, not just yet. So this is why the deity worship is there. Deity worship trains you to purify you to the point where your chanting becomes pure. And also by hearing classes and devotee association, then you can come to the point where you get a higher taste and your sense gratification gets less and you learn to avoid offenses to the holy name. And from that point of view, then your chanting becomes very fast. So Krishna consciousness is a scientific process. It's like, first is sadhu sangha, first is faith and sadhu sangha, then bhajana kriya. Bhajana kriya is a process after you accept spiritual master. All your unwanted anathas get wiped out. Then you come to a state of nishta, firm faith. Then from that stage, your advancement becomes very fast. And then from that, chanting becomes like, you can't stop chanting holy name. Any comments or questions? You got a mic? Yeah, wait. No. No. It's for the audience.
I just wanted to ask, how was the characteristics of Lord Chaitanya? How was he in terms of everything? How was he? Because I have not read, I have not had the chance. I'm a bit slow reader, by the way.
I see.
So how was he, brother? I just wanted to know.
Well, there's many pastimes which Lord Chaitanya showed how he is Krishna himself, like the Mahaprakash Lila. Lord Chaitanya showed to his devotees in Shiva Sangam in Mayapur. He showed at some points he was sitting on the throne where the shalagrams were. You know what shalagrams are, right? Self-manifest deities. Yeah, I'm just explaining to you. Yeah. So Lord Chaitanya was sitting on that throne and showed 21 hours of different incarnations. And Krishna himself never did that. So Lord Chaitanya is even more master than Krishna. So to his different associates, Lord Chaitanya shows his different incarnations. 21 hours. Yeah, so this is characteristics.
I'm saying in terms of the way he acted, how he treated people.
Yeah, he gave.
Spoke to people, things like this.
Yeah, you have to read the books for understanding that.
Because I don't really know, so I'm just.
This is a quite elaborate subject, but I'm giving the essence to you. I'm giving the essence. I mean, can you get anyone to show 21 hours of different incarnations? I don't think you can.
I'm saying that a lot of people already told me that he was a very lovely person, that he always saw love in other people.
Yeah.
What he wanted to do was to give love and support one another. That is the things that he promoted. To come out for people, even though we saw them struggling, he would go there.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah.
Somebody also told me that he would not have envy towards other people.
So that's
I
it.
just wanted to ask you if you know like this type of stuff. Tell me.
Yeah. So that's it. I'm giving you one example. How Lord Chaitanya showed his mercy. How he is Krishna himself. And the other one is Lord Chaitanya, there was a pastime where this is when he before he exhibited his uh, when he was a student. So Lord Chaitanya was with his student friends, and he saw some puppies. And Lord Chaitanya was born in a Brahmana family, so Brahmanas don't keep puppies in the house. So Lord Chaitanya got his one puppy and took it to his house, and he tied it up. And the other students went to Lord Chaitanya's mother, Mother Sachi, and said, "Look, Lord Nimai Pandit, he was known as Nimai Pandit. He was born on a neem tree. So Nimai Pandit put his puppy in your house." So Mother Sachi, she untied the puppy, and he's running down the street, down the road, and a plane from Goloka came down. The spiritual from Krishna's abode, a plane came down, and the puppy sat on that plane, attained his spiritual form, and went back to Goloka Vrindavan. So anyway, this is one aspect of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. So so demigods were praying to Lord Chaitanya, may you shower the same mercy on us. So just hearing these pastimes, you meditate on them, and then it'll come to you in time. Prabhupada said, when you take to spiritual life, your perfection is guaranteed, but you have to practice patience. Patience is important. Yeah, because if devotees just achieve perfection and they all left their bodies, then who would be here to spread the mission? Isn't it? So Lord Chaitanya wants the mission to spread. He wants his mission to spread. That's why he said, because many devotees moved to Vrindavan, and this is when I did the Brajmanda Parikram. Lokanath Swami, he asked the devotees, how many of you would like to see the real Vrindavan? And they all put their hands up. So Lokanath Swami said, if all of you saw the real Vrindavan, none of you would go back to your countries and spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya. So now Lord Chaitanya is keeping Vrindavan covered. So at this point in time, we have to spread the mission.
Can I ask the last question? I'm very curious. Could these be heaven too? This place where we are now.
This
Could we be more positive towards one another, love one another, support one another, build more community, live our lives, jump around and not consistently fear everything or be envy to one another, try to put each other down? Do you think that would make
you have to learn that through learning etiquette.
Can you teach me?
Yeah, we can learn. There's books on it. You can have to learn.
No, I'm a bit stupid. Can you teach me?
I can't teach you right now.
Alright. Can you teach me after?
In the future.
Alright.
Any other questions or comments? Antaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Always try to
Yeah, there's lots in the reception.
This is
I
what?
can show you some books afterwards.
Yeah, please,
There's some
please,
nice
man,
books.
because I'm starting now. You know, I don't know this stuff. I wish I was in it since younger, like you guys. You
No,
know?
no, everyone's
That would
coming.
be very lucky for me. Unfortunately, I wasn't. You know. chant together. You guys want to join as well? Chant all together? Why not? Right? Come join. Let's pray together. I sing. That's a good idea, man. Finally, I can chant, but I can only do the Hare Krishna one.
Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaurachande Arati Kasova Kiba Jaya Jaya Gaurachande Arati Kasova Janavi Tatavane Jagamanaloba Taki Nitai Chan Dame Garara Taki Nitai Chan Dame Garara Vasa Chatvada Nika Vasa Chatvada Dosi ache govachan Ratna Simbasane Dosi yache govachan Ratna Simbasane Arati Govindama Adi Devagane Arati Govindama Adi Devagane Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupad Brahmahamsa Parivakachaya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jayam Vishnupad Brahmahamsa Parivakachaya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Nantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Prem Sikaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mayapur Dham Ki Jagannath Puri Dham Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Everyone can sit down. Now we'll conclude with a prayer to Lord Nrsingadev. If you know it, you could chant along. Hare Krishna.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Lada Dayine. Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha. Hiranyakashipur Vakshaha. Shiratankara Kalaye. Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha. Ito Nrsimha Parato Nrsimha. Yato Yato Yamitato Nrsimha. Mahir Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha. Nrsimha Madeng Sharanam Prapadye. Nrsimha Madeng Sharanam Prapadye. Tavakara Kamala Varenakam Adbhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanavengam Keshavajeta Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadeta Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Ita Narahari Rupa Jaya Nrsimha Hare. Nrsimha Hare. Nrsimha Hare. Jaya Nrsimha
Thank you all for joining. The next Arctic will be at 9 p.m. Now we have some prasadam in the reception area. Everyone could go and get a plate of Mahaprasad. Hare Krishna.
Practice. You can find them online, the song lyrics. You just gotta know what like the names of them are and search it up. Yeah. It's amazing what you can do actually now on the internet. You can just search up a song and learn it. Yeah. Also, one should learn how to pronounce Sanskrit and Bengali as well. But you can also find Sanskrit and Bengali guides as well.
This we do.